This week on the Push from the Push Rollers, we talk about a year in review. What's been going on in fitness trends. Also, we talk about the 85% rule. Are you applying it with yourself and your clients?
3, 2, 1. Sorry, my microphone is terrible.
Hey guys, welcome to Push for Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall, with the same microphone as Alex Hormozy, so that's cool, right?
Must be cool, must work well, because I can definitely hear an echo on this end, so we're just praying to God that no one can hear an echo on the actual recording. And I just have to listen to Tom fucking twice, which is annoying. Never mind.
Right, so can you still hear an echo on your side?
Not anymore. I haven't heard it for a little while.
Well, okay, because I switched onto my MacBook microphone. So before we came on air, as it were, we normally I use I don't know what the fuck this is, massive giant microphone,
That is the technical term.
Codec with the Behringer inputty jargon thing that goes to my thing. That is echoing like shit. Then I switched back to my other microphone, which is my Blue Snowball, the one I first started doing when I was podcasting. And apparently that's echoing as well. And then obviously went on to my Jabras, but they decided to fuck up because they're not meant to be used for computers. They go, muted, I'm muted, muted, I'm muted. And I can't bother to go get my lapel road bike. So unfortunately, I'm going for Hormozy style, and it's going to be rustic.
Poor sound quality coming your way. So yeah,
I'm incredibly sorry. I'm sorry, guys. And I could go.
The thing is, I know how much it hurts Tom as well, because he takes great pride in
Do I?
Yeah, I know how much it's hurting him inside, deep inside. I know it's hurting him.
Of course, yeah, of course. Anyway, what's happening, Daniel?
Not a lot, mate. It's lovely here. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually need a little bit of a hoodie in the mornings when I go out, have my little coffee in the morning and get a bit of sunlight onto my eyeballs. It's a bit chilly now, it's sort of about 18, 19 when you get up. So yeah, I do have to unfortunately put a hoodie on, but then it does warm up by sort of 10, 11. You can go and lie in the sun, get your fix of the sun. So yeah, 26 is roughly what it is at the moment. So it's quite nice, to be honest. Yeah, I'm playing golf tomorrow, so that'd be lovely because it's warm. Yeah. How are you? How's things with you, mate?
Right now, so when I left for work today, the -5 feels like was on, so that was good. It's always nice with the snows. There is.
It does look pretty, to be fair. It does look pretty.
It is quite pretty, but then it's like pretty for the night it snows, and then the morning of, and then it goes to mush shit, and then turmoil comes back in. So yeah,
what I've been loving is I'm not gonna lie to you, I love watching the videos of the cars crashing, because they're going. It's the inevitability of the fact they're going so slow, but yet no one can stop it, and it just crashes into it.
It's not good.
The British people, when they just try and drive in the snow, it just makes me laugh. Like, not in a bad way. Like, I hope people nothing serious happens, but that safe. Sort of low level village, like trying to drive out your driveway and just can't stop, and you hit into something like another car, and people wonder why all these insurance companies are going up and up and up and charging more and more and more every year. It's because of shit like that. Because you're being stupid trying to drive in the snow. How about you stop doing that?
Yeah, that's correct. I haven't slipped over, touch wood. I have slipped, but I did make the change from on Saturday. I've started wearing boots out and about a little bit more. So
what are they? I've not owned a pair of them for a while.
Boots.
They like grippy shoes or something. I've got
grippy shoes, big old. I've got big old fluffy like DC boots because I'm cool and a cool skater kid.
Skater kid, yeah, that's it. Yeah. And Tom controversially put up a post about how he keeps his tea bag in his cup of tea. I mean,
no, that wasn't controversial. So the purpose of that post was when I'm at home, tea bag doesn't stay in. When I'm out and about, tea bag stays in.
I mean, tea's just an awful choice of drink anyway. But I don't think you can keep the tea bag in there, even if it's. I know what you're saying there. When you go out and about, it's never as strong because they don't make it as well.
They're like if you ever order it, I have to order dash tea, and then that's to me. I try to think what milky tea is because Jesus Christ, like dash tea is just like full on milk. I swear. Because obviously, like foreigners don't have milk in their tea, right? So they're like.
I don't think foreigners drink tea, mate. I think it's just British people that fucking put themselves through that. Do you know?
Yeah. But no, every now, like In the winter, I tend to drink more tea. I'm basically what I'm doing is preparing myself for Christmas when I'm back home with my family and my parents because I will have to drink. It's probably an insult if I don't have a tea
It's
with
the only
on me.
place I have tea, my dad's. When I go to my dad's
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea?" And I always say, "Yeah." And it's the only place I'll drink a cup of tea because it's the only place it tastes half decent. And I think it's just more. I think it's more of a nostalgic thing when I go there. I don't think
It
like
definitely
I
is,
would
yeah.
never order tea anywhere. But when I go to my dad's, he never had coffee. He's only just got an espresso machine, coffee machine.
Oh wow.
But like doesn't really bother with it. You know, he doesn't really have it. It's just for people come over. He just always drinks tea, like non-stop. And it was just one of those things where, like, my mum's, she'd make coffee and be fine. He never had coffee at all. So it's always been tea. So it's just, like you say, it's nostalgia. But I don't have it any other time, ever. Laura drinks it all the time, yeah. She loves it. I just can't stand
Yeah,
it.
she's northern.
Compared to
So,
coffee, it's fucking horrible. Like, I don't get it.
you're both northern to me anyway, so yeah,
Well,
but
yeah.
she's
Anyone's
even
northern
more
tea.
so. If that's the case.
Yeah.
They drink tea. But obviously coffee is far more refined. Unfortunately, coffee has left tea in its wake in terms of what you can do with it. Yeah. Just annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think coffee, I wonder if it was the other way around, right? If coffee had a lot less caffeine and tea was the one that was highly caffeinated, I think it would be switched. I do think a lot of people go for the caffeine aspect of it. With coffee, I think that's a big part of it. Yeah, I do. Interestingly, I've started taking the advice of that Dr. Huberman. Have you ever listened to this podcast? It's a bit in depth.
Yeah, it's
Like
massive. It's a massive
a bit
podcast.
too long. But
Huberman
I
Labs.
watch his I watch his Instagram. So he kind of sometimes he puts like some snippets on there, which are quite good. But I've started switching my caffeine intake around. So like I used to always have it when I wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee. That'd be my thing. I used to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I saw a clip of his the other day, and he was talking about how one of the worst things you can do is have caffeine as soon as you wake up. And I was like, oh, that's caught me straight away. I was like, oh, fucking that's interesting. So anyway, I went and did some research on his stuff, and he was basically saying that it leads to you having the afternoon slump. A lot of the time is because you have caffeine. It's not necessarily always, people think it's because after lunch and carbs, and there's all these other mechanisms. But I looked into it, and basically what happens is the adenosine receptors is what caffeine works on, basically, and it basically inhibits those receptors. And essentially what happens is if you have it too early in the day, you basically just delay the fact that those receptors, then the floating adenosine basically binds to those receptors later on in the day. You actually have to give your body a chance to flush it all out your system. So effectively, if you have caffeine, you're just delaying the time at which the fatigue kind of hits you or can hit you and you have that slump. Whereas if you actually wake up naturally and wait 90 minutes to 120 minutes, your body naturally flushes it out, and then you have caffeine, and then you have the benefit effects. And I've only done it for 2 or 3 days now. Makes a fucking difference. Like how often have I come to these calls and I'm fucked and I'm knackered and I can't be arsed? Like, I actually feel pretty good. Like, and it really
is interesting because
could,
obviously, like I could do that in theory because my normal I'm up at like let's say between 5:30 and 6, and I'll have my first coffee at 7. Oh,
yeah.
so I'm like, is that a long time? But maybe I could have it at 8, 9 instead.
So and again, like, and he also said as well, it affects sleep. So again, he does a lot of stuff on sleep and how circadian rhythms and all this sort of stuff. And basically, again, it helps your sleep. So I was then like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And again, it's just like whether it is real or not. But again, I only started doing this a couple of days ago, and like last night had a sleep score on my Oura ring 77, not been that high for quite a while. It's like little things you start, okay, maybe there's something to this. And one of the things he's big on is getting as much natural light as you can first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm really lucky. Obviously I can get out in the sun and all that sort of stuff. But he said that even if you're in any part of the world, just getting outside first thing in the morning where it's some sort of light, again, before you even think about coffee, before you think about caffeine, all this sort of stuff. It's just interesting. And I think I've started to listen to a few more of his bits and bobs. I'm sure there's some stuff in there that's a bit far-fetched and a bit too far, but that one, when I looked into it and I was like, let me have a look, because obviously, luckily I know the kind of biochemistry and the stuff behind it. So I was like, okay, let me have a look at it. And it does make sense. And yeah, you just don't think about it. You just have caffeine, you just have coffee first thing in the morning, you don't even think about it. And then when he was saying all this shit, I was like, that would explain a lot. And then noticed it does explain a lot once you do it. Because people just think caffeine, just stop having caffeine after 2, but it's like, yeah, but people just then have more in the morning, and it's like, well,
yeah,
like it's not great. So yeah, there you go. Very interesting.
Very
So you learn something new every day. There you go.
That's the end of the
yeah.
show. That nugget.
Yeah. Yeah, he's called Huberman. What's his thing? Huberman Lab.
Mate,
Is he called
the
HUB?
people
2
who
million
listen
followers.
to us would have been aware of him 100%. Surely, I'm
Neuroscience
aware of
professor.
him.
Yeah.
It's definitely of the people who I know that listen to him and love his stuff. It is definitely on the nerdier side of the coaches that I know.
Yeah.
I'd say. If you're into a slightly more relaxed podcast, you probably listen to this. Yeah, it tends to be. It's probably a little bit less so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also less inclined to kind of go after some of the stuff he talks about because he's got here his training protocols. Do you want to listen to this? So
go for
this
it.
This is why I wouldn't believe every single thing he says. Right? Training protocol, HLP, complete fitness protocol. Day 1, long 60 minutes to 3 hours zone 2 cardio. Go for it, mate. Go wild. Day two, legs and calves. Okay. Day 3.
Whoa. Why are calves and legs?
Right. Legs and calves. Day 3, he does like heat and cold immersion. He changes between the two. That's a session, apparently. Heat for 20 minutes, then cold for 2 to 5 minutes times 3. Then he does day 4, cardio 30 minutes, zone 3. Then he does day 5, torso and abs. Then he does cardio 20 minutes HIIT. And then on day 7, he does arms, calves, and neck.
Wow. Arms, calves. And
I mean,
neck.
that's as a split goes. That's not great.
It's niched, isn't it?
So there we go.
I mean, obviously, everybody's going like, "What the fuck is that split in terms of his body stuff as well?" But the zone 2 and the zone 3 work's interesting. Like, not really working at a great capacity there. Like zone 2s, you could probably hold for 24 hours. Zone 3, you
3 hours. It'd feel like
it. You can hold for far longer than 30 minutes. You should be able to, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. But the other thing as well that kind of got me a little bit when I listened to the podcast, because I know I listened to it before, it was like so many adverts for like so many supplements and so many things. I'm like, oh, come on, mate. Like, do these things really work? Like, but yeah, neck training. So yeah.
I think today, I had to submit my annual fitness trends thing. What was it? What we'll be doing in like 2023. So review of 2022 and what's happening in 2023 within the world of health and fitness. I believe it's going to be in my protein things. I wrote something else for them. If anybody's got one of their magazines from last month, I'm sure I wrote something in there. I don't really know what. Let me know if you've got it. I wrote something. But yeah, this one, I did it last year as well. But this year it's going out to UK, France, and Australia. So that's interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, for the first time, right? They barely ever asked for my fucking credentials. I was like, they actually were like, "Oh, can we have your links and stuff?" I was like, "Oh, thanks. Good, that's good, isn't it?"
Oh, that's nice of you.
That's nice of you. Yeah, it would be nice, share detail, credit, that's fine. Every now and again, but it was interesting. Because obviously I did some Googling and whatever. And do you remember last time they shared like a list of stuff, like Googled fitness trends and words to do with it? I've got a list here, Dan. There's ones that are on their way out, so have taken a decrease of like searching and an increase of search over the last year.
Yeah.
But I also have Pure Gym's fitness report for gym statistics, which is pretty interesting. So we could have a little bit of a guess take, or we can see and go through some of these questions, Daniel. So I think that'd be interesting. See how knowledgeable you are. No, okay, wonderful. But also, I guess we'll go into that. That'll be a hook, because I'm going to put a post out and about whilst we're recording this in a couple of hours. And I was inspired by someone else last week when I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that resonates with me. Fucking hell. And I think it's probably Lee Spellman. I think he and one girl, I can't remember, do like Speedworks and stuff in the States. Really cool stuff if you like sprinting and all that kind of athletic based movement shit that I ramble on about. And he talked about the 85% rule, which I thought was quite fun. He was like, I don't ever really tell people to give 100%. I would rather somebody give 85%, seems to be the magic number in terms of even for running. So I don't know if this resonates with you, Daniel. So if I was to say someone, I need you to give 85% in this set. He was like, it's enough of a decrease off 100% and going nuts that it's probably not an injury risk, but it's high enough for it to be kind of smooth, controlled. They're thinking about technique. It's probably not max effort or blah, 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 blah. And he was like, the fastest, this guy, lads, like generally is like a sprinting specialist, so 100 meters, 40-yard dashes, all that stuff. He was like, usually the fastest times come from when I say give 85%, because they're a little bit more relaxed. Stuff works a little bit better. They focus a little bit on technique and flow and hitting out their markers rather than kind of intense effort. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Like sometimes when you lift a little bit more relaxed or in a little bit of a zone and you focus on other shit, like I think especially from a term of like, so we use a term like kinetic linkage, or so when stuff happens. So Dan will resonate with this, I'm assuming, in golf. There's a point where you try and hit the ball too hard. Yeah, there could be a point where kinetic linkage happens, where each joint works when it's meant to, and you're probably going to be a better shot. But it doesn't feel all out. It feels effortless, which could be 85% effort. What's your take?
I also think as well the same applies to your mentality towards things, for sure. Like obviously you're talking about the physical, but relating to golf straight away, if I go out and try and shoot my best ever score, you don't. Whereas if you go and try to be like, I'm just gonna have fun today, just gonna see what happens, you're more likely to get your best scores. Like whenever I've gone out to try and play for a score, like when you've come over, I've played worse. Like that's just a fact. Like it's just,
mate, that's the pressure crumbling.
Yeah, but that's also that. So I think with that, the 100%, 85% is the pressure you put on yourself. So like even if I was playing with soccer, play on my own, like I know the rounds when I'm like looking at my handicaps and like, oh, I'm losing a few good scores. Like, oh, I got a good score. I'm like already going in with a bit of pressure and a bit like I've got to play at my best. And it's like, actually, no, I just need to play what I normally do and I'll be fine. And it's funny how that happens. And I think I understand that 100%. And I think as well, like in fitness and in personal training, I think that's such a huge tool to have in your locker. Like so many people look at fitness and think that it is so 110% die hard. Like you have to be, hardcore trainer, you have to be a hardcore client, you have to be hardcore to get results. And to say to someone, actually, I just want you to do 85%. Actually, yeah, push yourself pretty close to failure, but just stop just before it. Like people get on board with those training plans all day long. Like, of course they would. And like you said, the results come from that bit of it more often than not as well. Because not only, even from a volume point of view, like, again, people talk about the optimal sets you need to do in a week to see muscle growth. But even if you go under that number slightly, it's still like 85% of the gains you're going to get. You still get a good chunk of it, even if you do like 9 sets instead of 15 or 8 instead of whatever, It's the same principle, I think, to a certain degree. If you say to someone, right, can you give me 9 sets in a week? Chances are they'll probably go and give you 12 because they're like, well, actually, yeah, that's doable. Yeah. I think sometimes it really would help a lot of general public PTs who train general public is to say that.
I think it gives a realistic expectation as well. It's like, all right, I'm not asking for 100%. I'm asking you to do 85% of the stuff I tell you to do. From a coaching point of view. Yeah. And I think my clients know that from me. I'm like, if they miss something, I'm like, it's cool, dude. Like, you missed a week in the last like 12 weeks. You're fine. Like, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's a reset. It's cool. Maybe you've missed. It's like, oh, I haven't done that exercise. All right. Breathe. It's all right. It's not gonna happen. Like, no nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm not gonna come down and be like, what the hell? If it is a case you do 3-4 weeks in a row where you don't do that, I'll be like, maybe we change it around a little bit. But yeah. I think think it's definitely sets kind of expectations, and probably being able to stick to 85% of something is a little bit easier than, well, we know it's easier than 100% of something. So
Yeah.
there's always going to be something left on your to-do list. It has to be. Otherwise, not a mental list. Never to get that wonderfulness of release of serotonin when you're kind of wiping your board of all the jobs that you've done. That might never happen. That's the only issue. It's going to be a good feeling. That's always a great feeling when you're wiping off old clients. I'm joking. Wiping off tasks. Interesting though. It resonated with me, so I'm putting a post out about that. Do fucking 85%. And it's also because I always take the piss out of people. Unfortunately, I'm going to beat on classes here when it's like every rep counts. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. Give it your all right now. This is just you against you. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 6:45 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. No, stop it. Every rep doesn't count. It doesn't matter. Like, you're still gonna go and work well and jog on, and it's fine. Yeah, complete that burpee. Awesome. I'm like, oh, it's all right. Don't do the last rep. It's cool. Take the extra 4 or 5 seconds off that back. I did that on Saturday. I had to back off. I didn't go through the line on like a 5-minute stint in zone fucking 5. I backed off 4 or 5 seconds early because I was like, done most of it. Fuck it. I'm all right. My average wattage has dropped from 340 down to 339 for that 5 minutes. Oh no, shoot me. Anyway. It definitely happens in running. I've done a lot of sprinting in my life, and I always feel better. You run faster when you're relaxed, generally what happens there, and that's because of the linkage. Wonderful. Right, let's do some fitness trending, Daniel. So we'll look through this through the Pure Gym report that I got sent, which is wonderful. They've got current state of fitness, got gym usage, how long do people spend in the gym, how often do people visit the gym, what are the busiest days and times, what are the quietest days and times, most popular gym equipment, most popular gym classes, why do people go to the gym, why don't people go to the gym, and looking ahead. So let's have a little flick through, see if you can see if any of these stats can be of importance to you. All right, 23% of people don't consider themselves to be healthy at all. Interesting. So how many people do you think in the UK, percentage-wise, are currently a member of a gym?
Current percentage of people in the UK member of a gym.
Yeah.
I would say 31%.
Wow. You are very positive, Daniel. 14%.
14. Jesus.
14%.
I'd have said it
currently
more than that. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously said 31. Yeah.
But 19% of UK residents told YouGov that they plan on joining a gym in the next 12 months. So if those 19%
they join, I'm good.
Then we're on the money. So in the region, there's probably no prizes for guessing the highest percentage who are members of gyms.
London,
correct. Lowest is
probably Hull, having been there.
Cornwall, like the southwest.
Cornwall, yeah.
I think that's Bath as well. I think Bath's in that little bit. Yeah. 1 in 5. 1 in 5 Londoners.
It's because there's not many gyms in down there.
There's not many gyms, yeah, correct. So how long do people spend in the gym on average? What would you say?
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Mate, that's pretty much, I'll give you that bang on, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's between 30 and 59. So yeah, about 40, 45 minutes is pretty much spot on. But apparently a quarter of people spend 29 minutes or less per session. I mean, at least they're getting in.
It's me, man. I'm just a statistic now.
40% of people go for an hour or longer per session. Jesus. 5% of people say their session lasts between 2 and 4 hours.
Bodybuilders.
2% of people spend 4 or more hours exercising. So if you want to train bodybuilders,
There must be
that's
like
how many
there must
people
be
there
like
are.
triathlons or something like that.
Yeah,
Triathletes.
that's fair. Do full triathlons. Fuck that. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, that shows that people, when you're writing your plans, probably need to time it out.
Yeah.
Probably 30 to 59 minutes is probably about right for people. And if you can push it, because they're probably into it a little bit more because they're getting coached, probably just over the hour mark. Traditionally, mine are between kind of 45 to 75 minutes, my sessions, depending on what you did. Yeah. How about you? You must be, I'm assuming yours are pretty similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
How often do people visit the gym, Daniel?
Twice a week. That's what it would be self-reported, but it'll actually be once.
Yeah, majority of gym goers 2 or more times. So 62% are saying 2 or more times. 14% every day. Losers.
Fucking hell, get a life.
19% once a week. Jesus.
Well, 2 or more is quite broad, though, isn't it? If they're the 3 choices you've got.
I know. 2 or more. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Busiest days and times. What is the busiest day of the week in the gym?
Monday morning, surely.
Mate, 100% no. I will tell you from working still in a gym, and I would have guessed this without looking at Tuesday by far. It is always so much busier. Tuesday mornings are fucking gross. Apart from this morning, because rail strikes. But generally, I feel like it might have switched. But Monday's still seen as more of like, oh shit, I need to get back into work day. And probably work takes precedent over
Monday
gym.
evening, is that busy?
Monday evening might be busy. And then, so it's between Monday and Wednesday that saying it's just, but Tuesday is the busiest day in general. Also, from a case of, especially from London, commuters don't really come in on Mondays. People tend to work from home a little bit more as they do 3-day weeks. So yeah. And yeah, this might confuse some people or be like, oh shit, really? It's always the general population that get this wrong. What is the busiest month of the year for gyms?
It's not January.
It's not January.
It's, I want to say February. I want to say March.
February, yeah.
February, yeah. It's that.
February.
So we have this conversation with online coach all the time. Obviously, we coach a lot of them now. And then we're like, being ready for January. And I'm like, yeah, but hold your horses, because January people don't sign up. People don't do it then. It is after that. It's after that period, because the people that maybe can't afford it or whatever, they maybe go skiing or things like that. But I said people in January try and do it themselves. They think they can do things themselves. They'll try going running outside. They'll try doing all these things and they can't stick to it. They can't keep it going. They go, oh shit, I need to actually go to the gym. I need to do this. I need to do that. Then they do it once they've had the January sort of like realization of, oh shit, I've made all these New Year's resolutions and I can't fucking do it. And that's when you start to see inquiries going up and things like that, because people go, fuck, some holidays around the corner.
Yep.
We should do something about it.
It's almost like, so sneaky. One of my mentor's students, Sam, we're launching one of his things for 1st of Feb, but he's going to do a pre-launch to get people in the last week of Jan, because they would have fucked up by then. And I'm like, yeah, get them in, get that free week. And then they hit the ground rolling in February, because he was like, oh yeah, I want to get it rolling in January. It's like, there's no point. The people who they would have decided already who they want to sign up with by now in January as well. Like, so you just need to be the fucking ever present in January, just telling them that you're there. So that would be the case if anybody's thinking about that. And apparently the busiest day of the year is the second Tuesday in March. Interesting.
Mental, isn't
it? The quietest day in the gym, Dan.
Do weekends count?
Yeah, weekends count.
I say Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Followed closely by Friday, probably.
Yeah, it's between Thursday and Sunday, apparently. Are the quietest. Mate, all the bros are in on Friday. Friday is singles night, and all the bros are getting their pump on before they go out.
Of course.
I once went. I trained on a Saturday afternoon once, and I noticed that the whole gym was just all guys. Obviously, I was there doing my jumpy shit and like lifting, like
You were
Asian
getting your
probably.
pump on, but in your calves,
And
mate.
then I was
You're
like,
just as bad as everyone else.
I'm always wearing shorts. That's why I just got to get calf pumps.
Yeah, I used to really enjoy training on a Saturday morning. I used to train a couple of clients, like first thing, set like 7 and 8 or 8 and 9. No, I used to open at 8, wasn't it? So 8 and 9. Then I used to train myself in the morning. I used to really enjoy that. Always quite quiet, always quite nice in the gym on a Saturday morning.
Saturday morning still. Well, maybe at that time, like eight or 9.
I still train now on a Saturday morning. I like it. I like Saturday morning sessions. They're nice.
Fair.
I never feel rushed, and I feel like the gym's quiet, and it's like, I just like it.
All right, most popular gym equipment. This is interesting.
Oh dear, treadmill.
Just going treadmill. This is interesting. So the most popular cardio equipment is the treadmill. So followed by the stair climbers and the cross trainers. Apparently, most popular piece of fixed weight equipment. What is that?
A leg extension. No idea why I said that. What?
A leg extension. I'm so confused. No, it's literally, I was like, what does that mean? Because written down, it's got 5/8 stack. And I was like, that's a cable machine. I've just Googled it. It's just a fucking cable machine.
Well, yeah, but there's 5 stations on it. So
no. All right. As a fixed machine is a lat pull down.
Lat pull down.
Lat pull down. Yeah. Still people always go for the old what annoys me in the lat pull down where we have like interchangeable grips. So we've got like mag grips that you can like put on for nice kind of scapular stuff. And then no matter what, all the PTs put the other ones on. They use the mag grips, use different like grips and stuff. If a normal member goes on, they always change it back to just a flat straight bar. Always. If I was looking at someone and be like, actually, the professionals always use those. So why would I not try one of those and see what happens and just watch for 5 seconds rather than always go back to the straight bar that like, it's so weird. I never get it. And I really want to go to, why do you keep using that one when every trainer in here uses one of the other grips? And then they're not hard to work out. It's so strange. Most popular piece of free weight equipment is a squat rack. I mean, yeah, okay. It's hardly groundbreaking, I don't think.
It's the only bit though, isn't it? It's the only bit of free weight equipment.
Squat rack and then dumbbells. And they put weight benches on this list. That's really? All right. And then a platform. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And there you go. This will be an interesting one. The key reasons, so all coaches that are here, you design your content around, why do people go to the gym? So we've got, in terms of percentage of members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ways. So number one. What's that?
Weight loss.
No, that's second. Just wanted to stay healthy. I want to get or stay healthy is number 1. 22% of gym members.
That's a really vague thing to say.
It is so vague, isn't it? You're like, all right. Number 2 is I want to lose weight. Number 3, I want to get more toned. Classic. Number 4, I have access to facilities I don't at home. Yep. Heating, maybe hot shower now. I want to gain weight, build muscle. I like having access to a pool, obviously 8%. So I have more variety in my workouts. Probably home gym people. So that I have access to personal trainers. 6% of people. It's pretty good. 6% of nearly 10 million people. Still a lot of people out there that want PT, apparently. Just the social, meet friends and shit, 4%. Losers. To develop a specific athletic skill. I'm going for that 3%. There you go. At least it's made the top 10. Wonderful. Why don't people go to the gym? Interesting.
Intimidating. Don't know how to use things in there. Don't have time. What's the
gym intimidation? Apparently, that's what it's called. Is
Yeah.
67% of women find the gym intimidating. 49% of this is non-goers. So non-goers, 60% of non-goers find the gym intimidating. 49% of guys have gym intimidation as well.
Yeah.
That's really high. I guess obviously
Yeah.
we've just been in gyms our whole lives, so we're not gonna feel that way. But yeah,
Well, no, I think everyone has a little bit of that feeling. Like I still feel a bit like that. We all have our own hang-ups and stuff like that. I always still feel
yeah,
like people judge me because I'm not very big or strong or whatever. Like relatively speaking, I'm not compared to a lot of other trainers in there. And you go into into the gym I'm at here, some of the trainers are just absolutely ripped to shreds, right? Year round. You can see it in their t-shirts they're wearing and stuff like that. And it is a little bit intimidating. Like I'm a little bit immune to it because I'm like, well, you're a fucking moron because I've seen the way you train your clients. So
yeah.
I'm a little bit more immune to it, and I'm a bit more smug because I'm like, well, I know that I'm better than you. Maybe that's a bit arrogant, but it's kind of true. Trust me, that's how shit they are. But then I can imagine how somebody would go in there feeling very like, I don't want to be around these people because I feel like they're judging me, because they always have that look on their face, like resting bitch face look.
Yeah.
You know, that you can't, again, it's not their fault. It's just that's the way people kind of, they're not looking around, not smiling all the time every fucking second of every day. But I get it. I get that. I think that's something that gyms have to work really hard at dispelling. And I think that the gym in America really, really showed that with what was the Planet Fitness really showed that, in that they said no slamming weights, no free weights, or no chalk, pizza parties or whatever it was, and all like the fucking busiest gym in America. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think in England you could see a similar thing happening. One thing I'm surprised that hasn't been as widespread as I thought it might is women only gyms.
Yeah.
I know there are some, and I know there are sections of gyms that are women only and stuff like that, but I genuinely thought a few years ago that was a really big space. But I think just as much as women are intimidated by men in the gym, I think they're also intimidated by women who are fit, and, the same way that I'm intimidated by blokes who are bigger and, on gear and whatever. I would imagine women feel exactly the same way about women, so that's why they don't go as much as the men. Obviously, I think women have it twice as hard. I think they're intimidated by both, whereas I think guys are just a bit more intimidated by the guys potentially. But I think gyms have to work really hard with that. Personally, I think that's something that that is something that's quite hard to figure out how to help people get over that. I think it's hard, like I said, because you still have it a bit, like,
and weirdly it's got to start from just the ethos of the coaches and everybody in there. So I guess pulling the same way, but you're always going to get people who are not that welcoming, right? So it's always going to be the case, unfortunately. That depends on the gym that you go to. 40% of people don't have a gym membership because it's too expensive. 13% feel they don't know what they would do if they even went there. And then 56% total intimidating experience, so don't want to go. Quite a lot. So obviously, if you have gym intimidation, feel like it's like I've had it. So it's just like training with a PT is the best thing, but even that's like tough. Training with your friend is probably a good way, hopefully. Getting them to do that. Like if maybe you've got a client that has a friend that has gym intimidation, they want to bring them, then bring them to their session and like help them out and do stuff like that. I think that's going to be the case. They probably don't want to train. They never want to train alone, I'm assuming. People who got gym intimidation, because I still have it with some. I know some of the female clients that I've got, they won't set foot in the SC area without me. Won't go 100%.
Yeah.
Just like, which I get, like, and I'm sure some of the blokes I train won't probably go in there without me as well. But even though most of them can probably lift more than some of the idiots that are in there, I'm just like, yeah, you know what you're doing, but it's just that weird fear factor. I don't know whether that's my fault. I should try and prepare them a little bit more. But obviously I would be like, I'd take them in there. I don't bat an eyelid when I'm walking around the gym, right? So yeah, very strange. Very strange. All right, Daniel, let's crack into this. All right, fitness trends, because these are ridiculous. The trends for so actually, so should we do review of what the fitness trends were for 2022? So the most Googled stuff. What are we thinking? Last time I was like, you got to get 3 out of like 20, and then you win. Have I got a D?
3 out
I
of
ain't got a
20 I've
bell.
got to get.
Yeah, I
Fucking
think
hell.
so. There's 20 in there. Like most Googled terms for fitness. And just FYI, when obviously last time I did this for my protein, I did point out to them, I was like, thank you for this data, but it was an Olympic year. So loads of sports are in there. And I was like, they're probably not going to be in there next year. So only fitness terms. Cool.
And it's this year, yeah, up to this point.
So this is ranked by percentage increase in Google searches from July through to September. So July, September 21 versus July to September 22. So they showed a percentage increase from those time periods.
Oh, I don't even know where to start.
Do you want me to give you like 3 and then you can go? Or
no,
should I give you no? All
no,
right,
no,
cool.
no, 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 no. I'm trying to think what's been popular. What's risen in popularity? No
Oh, he's
idea.
struggling. He's struggling.
Has it been? I wouldn't even know where to begin. Give me 3 then. Go with 3, like three of the most random ones.
Pick numbers. Obviously, this is ranked from 1 to 20. I'll give you three numbers, and I'll give you them.
Go with like the low ones. Go like between 15 and 20.
So I'll do the 20 to 15. So 20th is outdoor fitness. 19 is breath work. 18 is zoo. ZUU. Don't know what that means. 17 is F45. 16 is calisthenics. I'll give you 15 is rock climbing.
I mean, that doesn't really help me.
All right, come on. You got to get 1 or 2 of the top 10, surely.
Oh,
surely.
HIIT training.
See, I think I'll give you that.
HIIT training, high intensity interval training. HIIT training. I don't know.
So, because remember last year, like the most Google thing was like hula hoop training, wasn't it? It was fucking so mad. And so this one is, so number 1 is 12, 3, 30 workouts. I don't know what that is. What is that?
3, 30 workouts.
I mean, we're adding to the thing, but one viral trend has the 12, 3, 30 workout did just that. It's soothingly straightforward. Set your treadmill to an incline of 12 and a speed of 3 miles an hour, then walk for 30 minutes. Incline walking was number 1.
This is why I give up with fitness. I give up with the work. Like,
incline walking.
Look at the questions people also ask. How much weight can you lose doing 12, 3, 30 in a month? It depends on what you're eating.
How long does it take for 12, 3, 30 to work? 30 minutes.
Who started this piece of shit?
Who did this?
12 3 now. The 12 30 had by YouTuber Lauren Giraldo.
Never Lauren heard Giraldo. Of her. What are you doing?
Lauren Giraldo. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, content creator. TikTok.
Mother of 12 3 30 skincare.
Mate, hitting it hard, branching out. Oh, right, number 2. So that got a rise of 308%. Google's pretty good, isn't it? Number 2 is CrossFit. Coming back in. I did project that because I think I got that right from my last one, because I was like, I think group and community classes will be big again because people want to go into community post COVID again. CrossFit's the more extreme version, but yeah, it definitely happens. Number 3, Daniel, we'll give you the top 5. Number 3 is twerking class.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I can't hack it. You know what? I would never get these, and I wouldn't have got any of them. CrossFit I may have got if I'd have just fucking said random fitness words.
Yeah, 125%. I've been googling twerking classes.
I bet you like.
I mean, I Google it most days.
It's probably just you.
Number 4 is something called 75 soft. What does that mean? I'm going to Google that.
75 soft challenge.
Soft. What is it?
Train for 45 minutes every day for 75 days.
What? What is 75 soft?
Oh, how nondescript is this? 1 45-minute workout a day, every day for 75 days. 1 active recovery day. Eat a healthy diet and only drink alcohol socially. If any, only drink on social occasions. Oh, what the fuck's that? Oh, there's a 75 hard. There's a 75 soft.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So for starters, 75 hard. Of course, no one went for that one. They went for the soft version. 75 hard means 0 alcohol or cheat meals are allowed in the 75 hard. And if you fail, you have to start the 75 days again.
Dan does that like that's just normal 75 days for you.
I can't deal with fitness.
And then number 5 is High Rocks.
Oh, of course, should have known that fucking shit.
Yeah, I thought you'd get that one.
High Rocks.
It's interesting. Then we've got like jazzercise, stroller fitness, Pilates, incline walking, ever resting, floating yoga. Fucking hell, there's a lot of
so it's all just shit, isn't it? Funny that how like none of it is like actually like strength training or like what can I achieve in 1 month in a year of really solid training and a half decent diet. Nah, it's never gonna get up there, is it? No. Like, twerking fitness, that'll be the one. Yeah.
Interestingly, so do you want to on the ones on the way out? Number 1, virtual fitness challenges. But apparently not. I feel like that's a bit of an oxymoron because literally the number 1 is surely a virtual fitness challenge.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Number 2 is outdoor personal trainers.
Yeah. Resistance band workouts probably down as well.
So skipping workouts. A lot of people were skipping, weren't they? Virtual fitness classes. A sad number 5, free weight training.
Yeah.
Down 45%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Honestly, God.
Number 8, down 33% is online fitness programs. We're on the wrong game, mate. We're in the wrong game.
Game.
So my projections for mine was CrossFit. Gonna get bigger still.
Yeah.
I still think that's gonna happen. But it was on a similar theme. I said High Rocks. I think High Rocks might actually get bigger because, like what we said, it's got less skill around it. Essentially, it is
less injury risk.
It's more CV based, and it is literally just professional PE. That is like, I realized I teased that about National Fitness Games when that came out. I was like, that's just PE. This one is PE. Like, yeah, literally that.
Actual PE.
But yeah, it's low skill. That's literally it. You don't have to spend hours trying to refine a skill. Therefore, it's so open to more of the population to do it. That's why it's going to be good. That's like a golden ticket for any kind of fitness. It's like, this is why not a lot of people play golf, because it requires a lot of skill. Like Mike found that. He's not going to pick up golf very often because he was like, shit, it's actually quite hard, that tiny little ball. And then I've said this every year I've ever done one of these, and it's only because tech gets better every single year, and that's wearables. Always going to say it. Especially because I'm an advocate for VBT and can fucking Whoop, hurry up and bring that tech out properly. But yeah, more wearables. So like Garmin Polar, I'm sure that's going to be even better. Whoop, Aura. Dan still wears his Aura ring religiously. I track my heart rate stuff because it's obviously been more apparent, like based off COVID stuff. Yeah, So interestingly, my COVID heart rate after pushing myself on Saturday, I did an actual proper like watt bike session. My first minute recovery was good. My 10-minute recovery was bad. So, which was interesting. So, which was yeah. So I was okay replenishing straight away, but I couldn't get my heart rate down within a good amount of time. Which was just not worrying, but yeah, just shows that obviously, even though I didn't have much, it's had an effect on me 100%. So yeah, take it easy if you just had COVID. Number 4, I think this will come still. I think literally walking and hiking, like people are outside more or want to go outside more and enjoy that kind of shit. Yeah, and then I actually Googled fitness trends of 2012, 2013, because we know fitness goes in cycles. It tends to be every kind of 10 to 12 years. And so I literally went in, I was going back and I was like, maybe we see a return, unfortunately, of keto. I've already seen a return of fasting. There are a lot of people doing fasting right now that I've seen, and that was a big way back then as well. Keto and fasting were big in terms of the nutrition. Maybe because like Wim Hof as well, because I'm assuming he does some fasting shit, and obviously that's been reasonably big over the last year. Yeah, so that might stick around, and stuff like bouldering and that kind of outdoorsy stuff. So yeah, those are my projections.
Bouldering. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I reckon that's pretty close, mate. I think that'll
be close. Yeah. Just that cycle that always comes back around. Like always comes back around. So
it does.
Get the keto bashers out. Obviously, we've had the carnivore diet has been the thing, but I feel like that's going to fall by the wayside a little bit now because obviously, I mean, we haven't given our input on the what's his face, Liver King. I fall on the side of the idiots that believed he wasn't natural. Like, what seriously? You thought that was natural? Jesus, look at that man.
I think the worry for me is that there are people out there who do think he was natural. I think if you've fallen for anything he said, you kind of deserve it, in my opinion. No.
It's like the hypocrisy of like the Chris Hemsworth as well. Like obviously he's got his app, right? Workout with him. And it's just like, unless you take gear, you're not gonna look like Chris Hemsworth if you do that app. Like 100%, unfortunately. That's what's going to happen. And I realize that he's being coached by Ross Edgley and all this kind of stuff, but I'm pretty sure Ross Edgley's probably taken something in his life.
Of course he has. Of course he has. Again, you don't need to be a fucking genius to see it. Like you don't need to. Yeah, it's like you say. Most people know.
Their profession is to look good.
Yeah,
that's unfortunately the thing they have to do. So yeah, I think it's just you're like, if you're prepared to do that, then crack on. But if you're not, then
the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. Like you still have to work hard. You still have to do all this.
Yeah, you still have to work hard.
You know, it's not guaranteed results. It's just like you say. For me, it's the whole with Liver King. It's the whole selling the supplements off the side of it all. But again, like I just feel like, again, if you fall for that, you are a moron because he is talking about an ancestral life and he's getting private planes and sell supplements. Like logic dictates that you're an idiot if you believe him. People like Ross Edgley and stuff like that, I think like you also have to look at that and go, right, the extreme events he's done, all this sort of stuff. You kind of have to have done something like that to push yourself to those limits. And fucking worldwide fucking WWE wrestlers are on it, so fucking Ross Edgley does need to be on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he is or isn't. I don't know, but I know from looking at his physique at certain time points, I can say that he probably was at some point, in my opinion, on something. And people forget as well the benefits post taking it. It's like the whole thing with James Smith. He's like, oh yeah, he openly admits that he's done it, and it's like, yeah, but you get the benefits of it after taking it for years. Like, yeah. So it's also like, yeah, okay, at the time you stopped, but you also still look. And yeah, by the way, yeah, Ross Edgley definitely was. Looking at pictures of Ross Edgley, I've just been on Google Images. I just reminded myself what he looked like. Yeah.
See, we chatted to him, didn't we? But I've met him, and yeah. He's
fucking huge. I always feel like you can tell like from like the muscle bellies and how they look and the shape. I always feel like there's a few giveaways as well for certain muscle groups that grow that are usually quite don't usually grow very well.
Mm.
Traps being one of them. Calves being another. That most people, yeah, it's just interesting. Like I said, I think it's you still have to do the work. You still have to doesn't take anything away from your achievements, but I think people would be very shocked to know how many people are on them.
Oh yeah,
I used to hear people go, "Oh, Eddie Hall, really?" Oh, fucking hell.
It's not like there's literally another title called Natural Strongest Man.
It tells you
Literally another one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So all right, guys. Any other business, Daniel?
Not for me. No.
Not from
last week our last one
me.
before Christmas.
Probably, yeah. I believe so. Before I guess we'll have to do some sort of pulley awards.
Yeah, always.
And then yeah, I think I'm gonna start busting out some get a shit ton of guests in for next year, Daniel. I think I'm gonna already do that. So I think we're gonna let's get a load of females. I feel like we need to highlight females in the fitness industry because they're not shouted about enough. So if you have any female coaches that you want to bring on the show and you've made it this far, fuck me, well done. Then let us know. Send me or Daniel their Instagram. And if we approve them, what we'll probably do, I want to run like at least one guest show a month, and it will be the Dream Gym show. So, and we'll run that and YouTube it, or maybe we'll get Joey to do the old reels and shit on it. I think that'll be good.
That's so that's the plan. Is it the Dream Gym? I like
Dream Gym. We'll do PPL does the Dream Gym, and we'll run it as a
Dream Day. Is that the Dream Day one?
Dream Gym Day, yeah.
How do you start your day?
Yeah. The whole day. Okay. That'd be fun. Yeah. So we'll do that. We promise one guest a month is it's what we used to do. So yeah, we'll do it. Boom.
Well, let's get some good suggestions. That's
right. I've already got my list, but we'll see.
Oh, just got a list.
Well, right. Yeah. So I'm going to get Mike on in a wig. That'll be the case.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
See you later.